Juliet office.
And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, July 20th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Ladies.
All right, good luck.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome. It is a Wednesday, and we welcome you to Coleman and Company, and welcome Bob McDonald to talk about Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, simple banking, simply better. Bob, good morning.
Hey, Coleman, good morning. Great to be with you.
Right here in the good old summertime.
Yes, sir. Today's going to be my kind of day. It's supposed to be right up there close to 100 degrees, and man, I love it like that.
You know what? I do too. There's not too many people like us, I don't think, but
No, there's not. There's not too many people like us, but the hotter the better. And someone asked me the other day why I like that. I don't know. I just love it. Hot, and sunny, and humid.
well, it beats cold weather anytime.
Yes, it does.
What's going on with you?
Oh, not much. We're very busy. I told you last week that we talked a little bit about the economy, and we're still waiting to see when the Fed meets next week about what they're going to do with rates. They're going to increase small indications anywhere from 75 to 100 basis points. They're determined to get a grip on inflation. I think it's clear now that they were a little slow to react to that when it first started presenting itself. So they're determined now to get inflation under control. We talked also last week about we head into a recession, and it's a mixed bag on that too, Coleman. Half the economists will tell you that we will hit a recession. The other half will tell you it's not. An economist who does some work with us tells us that a recession is not imminent. That was his words. It's not imminent because there's too many positive things going on in the economy right now in terms of consumers and consumer purchases and consumer income. Wages are continuing to go up, and consumers have good cash reserves. So that's just sort of a wait-and-see thing. But I think you and I have learned over the years that we are fortunate to live in such a good community with a good, diverse economy that if we do see a recession on a national level, it's usually not that bad here in your listening area.
That is one of the good things about Middle Tennessee.
Well, it is. It's just, everything continues to be so strong. So many people from around the country want to move here for all the obvious reasons. And so we're just continuing we're staying very busy, Coleman. Our loan demand remains very strong, which is a good sign for the economy. People are not worried to borrow money. Rates are stabilizing a bit. We're seeing our long-term fixed rate mortgages are starting to come down a bit from an all-time high. About 2 weeks ago, Coleman, they got up to about 5.75, and that was the highest we've seen in a long time. The lowest we saw about 6 months ago was about 2.75, so you can see that was quite a big jump.
Mm-hmm.
But that's starting to come back down. So we're beginning to see some more activity with mortgage lending.
Well, I know you make loans for so many different reasons, but your mortgages for homes, for your business loans, and I think Cedarstone is pretty strong with your business loans, right?
Well, we are. We've got if you look at our loan portfolio, it's diverse also. I mean, we've got a nice mix of personal loans such as car loans or loans for personal reasons. We also have real estate loans, whether it's for commercial property or residential property. We have loans for businesses who want to buy equipment. And it's always been that way. Our loan mix, as we call it, really has been consistent since we opened up in April of 2004.
Yeah.
So we've not seen much of a variation in that, which is a good thing. That just means that we've got a good, consistent, stable plan for that.
All right, we got just about time to talk about your Simply Better free checking account, which is one of the stable things of what you do.
Yes, it is, Coleman. It's the cornerstone of our bank, and we believe the checking account is the most important account of all because we all need one, and it can lead to so many other relationships with the bank. It is free. It's free in every way. If you still want to do banking, as we say, the old-fashioned way, if you want to write your checks and get your statements, you can do that. You can still come in all of our 3 locations. We look forward to seeing our customers in that way. But if they want to bank with us electronically, we can do that. We have all the bells and whistles in terms of technology. And we get a lot of compliments, Coleman, on our electronic banking programs, our website, and those types of features. So we encourage your listeners who don't bank with us now to come by and visit. It'd be our pleasure to talk to them about banking with us.
Well, I do a little bit of both, and I'll have to say, it's easy to navigate when you're on the internet and doing from your laptop at home.
It is. It's second to none, and we're very pleased with how that works. And again, we get a lot of compliments on how easy it is to bank with us electronically.
All right, good to have you today. Have a great week. We'll do it again next Wednesday, okay?
Thanks, Coleman.
All right,
Yeah, my
thank
friend.
you. Bob McDonald, he is President and CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. We're 10 and a half after the hour. Mark Hinesley joins us this morning to talk about Mount Juliet, the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, Wilson County, whatever's on his mind, actually. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks to your help this morning, I'm doing better, and don't say another word.
You got it. That's all right. Hey, I want to introduce the listeners, if they don't already know, Gerard Bullock. Gerard is the chairman of the board this year for the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. Owns a real estate company in Mount Juliet, and he and his wife have lived here for a number of years. They not only came with Under Armour, but they decided they liked it, and they're here to stay. So he's been on our board for a couple of years, involved in a lot of things in the community, and I always invite the board chair to join me whenever he gets a chance, or she. And
Gerard Bullock, we welcome you to our program. Good morning.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit
that he
about-
hasn't already said.
Well, first of all, we talked a little baseball. You know, me being an O's fan, we're 500. It's good stuff right there. But originally from the Baltimore, Maryland area, moved here in 2015 as the director of wholesale operations for North America with Under Armour. Worked there, got to meet Mark. Probably on the first day I got here, got to meet Mark and saw the wonders of the chamber and what they do for the community. And really, just the community embraced us at that point. My wife, 2 years later, decided to open Me Time drop-in childcare right here on Mount Juliet Road. And I got the bug that I needed to work for myself as well, and decided to leave 25 years of distribution to sell houses and get into real estate and help people out. And the two of us now live right here in the city at Mount Juliet, and been sitting here with Mark on the board for a number of years. And like I said, the main reason for me wanting to get involved was just the way that the chamber embraced us and the way the community embraced us. We felt like we needed to give back to the community, and just glad to be a part of it.
So you're in the real estate business.
Yes, sir.
Well, real estate business, for the most part, seems to have been doing awfully well for a long time.
Yes.
And I hope you are too.
Yeah, it's doing well. Little cooling of the market now. I won't say slowing down, but it's changing, right? So pendulum slipped in a little bit, still a seller's market. And as Bob was saying too, rates are creeping up a little bit. But here the thing is there were many buyers out there about 6 months ago that couldn't even get in line to get a house. So now the thing is if you're able to come out there now, those people need to come out and go ahead and make that purchase, because as Bob said, rates are going the other way, right? So the longer you wait, the more you're going to pay on that rate, So that my thought is the market is cooling a little bit, but like he said also, we're insulated here in this Middle Tennessee area, and with all the people moving here. But nationally, we're seeing things from builders. They're offering incentives that we didn't hear about for the past 2.5 years. So that tells me nationally there is a shift of some sort. But just like he said also, just consistency. Just do the thing you're supposed to do. Get up and go to work like a bricklayer, right? Get up, go to work, lay one brick at a time, and you'll get that wall done eventually, right? But
That's a good analogy, isn't it, Mark?
I need more bricks. My wall's not very tall.
Well, bricks are heavy. I'm not carrying around that whole. I need somebody to bring me the bricks. We're gonna go one at a time. I'm not gonna pick up 3 and 4 at a time. So, yeah, I don't want to do it, but it's how you get it done.
Well, we certainly appreciate having you with us this morning and your insightful comments. And Mark, back to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a lot of stuff going on, and I want to thank you again for affording us the opportunity to Melanie and Daryl Crouch and giving us an audience Monday morning. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but I think we feel like the dog that sort of caught the UPS truck, so to speak. It's like, oh my gosh, now what do we do? The tremendous support that we're getting universally across the county. Social media can be sometimes not so good, but sometimes it can be awesome. And right now, this is like a snowball going down the hill with our teacher support initiative. Seems to have really struck a nerve. The timing is great, and the media folks have been very generous to help us out. And we're less than 1 week away. The party's next Tuesday morning for the most part with the Wilson County school teachers all going back into their classrooms. So we won't spend too much more time on that, but thanks to everybody that's helping us out.
Okay, time for us to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. Red Max at Absolute Kubota. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. A steady flow of traffic continues down I-40 westbound here in Wilson County, coming through Mount Juliet, and all that traffic headed towards Nashville. Fessler's Lane and I-40. We saw him working a wreck there a few minutes ago. 4400 block of Lebanon Pike and Hermitage. 2 cars tangled up at that location in Antioch. That wreck is still there at Barnes Cove Court at Barnes Cove Drive. Again, it's got traffic tied up that intersection. There's a high demand for dental assistants, and Dental Staff School has an amazing 98% placement rate. Google Dental Staff School. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Steve Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you can afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
Charles Lehman is asking for your vote for Wilson County Trustee August 4th. Charles grew up in Noreen and has been a lifelong resident of Wilson County. Charles Lehman brings a strong education tempered with decades of experience to provide the citizens of Wilson County with a rock-solid background for their next trustee. Working as an appraiser for the comptroller of the Treasury for 34 years and going into real estate after retirement, Charles brings a strong foundation to serve as your next trustee. Paid for by committee to elect Charles Lehman Treasurer.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Mark Hinsley, Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, is with us this morning, and he has brought Gerard Bullock with us as well, who is in the realty business and is your chairman, is that right?
Yeah, chairman of the board. Our board is made up of 15 volunteers representing, hopefully we represent every segment of our membership. We try really hard to make sure that we're not leaving anyone unrepresented on the leadership team, and they each serve three-year terms, and with 15 we have staggered terms, so every year 5 roll off and 5 more come on, and the bylaws allow for 2 consecutive terms before they have to take at least 1 year off away from the board. So I think I'm now on my 24th or 25th different boss. So we have to be adaptive, but I have a year to plan for it because I knew all year last year, and this year Tracy Pope with Vanderbilt is shadowing Gerard and learning the ropes, and so she'll take over in January. But now we had Gerard sort of got fed to the lions right out the gate. We had that big investor banquet and recognition awards dinner. Unlike anything we'd ever had back in I guess January or February 4th at the new Hilton, and boy, that was our coming out party. And then he's led us through the membership event that we had on April 18, 19, and 20 with 140 new investors. And now, everything else that's going on. I haven't let him sleep much, I'll tell you what. We talk almost every day. I think he's as surprised as I am what's going on sometimes. So.
Well, depending on how strong and how involved the community is with the chamber can be a very viable asset. And I think we've got some wonderful ones here in Wilson County. But to have the success that you had with your when you were recruiting the membership drive that you had, that was very encouraging, no doubt.
Far exceeded everyone's wildest expectations, and even the existing investors that we have in members, so excited to now have more people at the party and more people to get to know and more connections, more contacts. And so it really was one of those where we're better with you than without you. I mean, and people are seeing that. And there are still some people coming in, I was introduced to it, but I just needed to learn a little bit more. So here we are 90 days later, and the members are still coming in. They want to be part of what's going on in Mount Juliet and Wilson County. And like Gerard, it's a little bit different when you live here and you got a skin in the game. Education matters. Property value matters. Public safety matters. Quality of life, recreation, job opportunities, those things matter. If this is your sales territory and you live in Points Yonder, you're pretty interested in the business climate and you always like to meet new prospects. But it's a little bit different when you plant a stake and say, I'm here. Then you have a skin in the game. And Gerard and his wife, Sarah, and their kids, they're here. And so he's one of them that stepped up and said, I want to make sure that I'm leaving this place better than I found it, and provide an opportunity for his family. And so,
well, since he mentioned it, tell us about your children for a minute here.
My children, so I have 4 children: Gerard Jr., Gianna, Gabriella, Gabby, and Gage. Gerard is a junior. He would be a junior this year at Austin Peay State University, playing quarterback there. Gianna is a heptathlete at the University of Oregon out in Eugene. Just got home on Monday night. And then I have 2 others, 14, Gabby, and Gage is 12. So, and then my wife, Sarah, like I said, we've been married it'll be 20 years in September. So, so those are that's my bunch. And my mother, she lives about a block from me in Providence. She moved from Baltimore, I say 2016. And my 99-year-old grandfather, he moved down, World War II vet. He moved down as well at the same time. So I got them all here.
If I want to keep an eye on their kids, I just look at Sports Illustrated, because he's he's not bragging on them enough, but you got one that's probably
quarterback at Austin Peay.
Yeah, it's his first year there. He was at University of Dayton for a year, and then decided to make the transfer portal's a new and it's a different environment, but he was able to jump into the transfer portal, navigate that, and landed right here in state in Tennessee, in Clarksville.
So you get to see him, son.
I will this year. It's his first year there. I look at him. I look at his social media to see him every day, but I'll be up there. I'll be up there every game of the season this year, so I won't miss one.
What about you? You have athletic background?
I got a little bit. I mean, I play a lot of video games, but other than that, I mean, I played a little bit of ball in high school. Tried to play college ball coming out of high school, and figured out that was not the 100-degree heat part wasn't for me. So no. So my wife she played tennis in high school. Maybe they get it from her. Maybe that's it.
Well, so it seems like you have a fine family there.
Thank you.
And we've all heard of the Austin Peay Governors. I don't know what's expected of them, but we'll see, I guess. What else we want to talk about?
I always like to. I will dread the day I ever have to come over here and say sales tax was less than it was last year at this time. So once again, the sales tax report came in. I guess I got it yesterday, maybe the day before. And sales tax is up again, and I think there's only been 1 month, maybe in the last 5 or 6 years, where sales tax was less than the same time the year before. So very important. Our foot's on the gas. Shop local. if you remember,
Now, you're talking about Mount
for
Juliet.
Mount Juliet, yeah.
Have you looked at the rest of it? It's all up, isn't it?
I believe Sarah Hastings Hastings is running around here somewhere, and she'll probably let you know that Lebanon sales tax is still a little bit higher, but that's all right. Second's better than third or fourth, I guess. So, but no, it's for the whole county. It's really from one end to the other, and we're fortunate with that. But a lot of new businesses opening up. The planning commission meeting is tomorrow night, and the packet was I'm not even all the way through. It's 132 pages long. Now, that's not 132 projects, but a lot of detail. Get the packet that the planning commission's going to look at, and oh my goodness. I would just say that if you think you've seen growth, I'm not really sure you've seen anything like this. The future is going to look very, very different. 5 or 10 years from now, we'll be going, boy, do you remember when it wasn't so busy and there wasn't so much back in 2022? It's incredible. I said, there's my 20-year plan right there. I can retire when that's done.
Well, we haven't mentioned it this morning, and I know you are certainly aware of Mount Juliet celebrating 50 years of incorporation.
That was a great event from what I heard. I know a lot of people worked really hard on it. I, believe it or not, was in Memphis. My grandson was born on April the 18th and had his baptism at church over in Memphis. So I say I have to make a choice. It wasn't really a choice, but we had a great time with that, and that's a moment I'll never get back again. So, but now we're working on 60 years, and I believe it was such an overwhelming success that we'll have a birthday party every year because we clearly have enough to celebrate. So a lot of people worked really hard. I'm sure the city will give an update Tuesday morning after that when they're here next week, Justin or Jamie or somebody. So.
Well, let me ask Gerard here. We'll talk just a little bit about the future of real estate. And you mentioned maybe the interest rates have climbed just a little bit, and that's changed the complexion maybe slightly. But what does the next 5 years look like to you? I mean, people are still coming, aren't they?
Yes, they are. People are still coming. I'll say, just going back to my supply chain background, that there will be a little bit more supply than there has been over the past few years, just with just the bullwhip of the building construction that is happening with homes, and then people were reluctant to list their house or kind of late to the game listing their house. So I think with slightly climbing rates and a little bit more inventory on the market, we're still going to be in a great situation. It'll still be a seller's market, but instead of having 25 people show up to one house, there'll be a few more houses for people to buy as it goes forward. But well, like you said, we're in an insulated area where we're going to feel some of the effects, but that actually might be a good thing for, to kind of normalize the market a little bit, kind of shift a little bit towards the buyer side. Like I said, it'll still be a seller's market, but there'll be more inventory for people to buy. So it's still a great place to live. It's still growing, plenty of jobs coming here, especially, we're still building and we have a lot of great things coming to the area. So for me, in the next 5 years or so, it's still a great place to live and a good place to plant a flag and hang out. So.
And as far as the chamber goes, I mean, you've already shown your interest and no doubt feel it's an important entity, or you wouldn't be where you are, but you might expound on that a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. So you gotta, what is it? If you don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu, right?
That's right.
That's it, right?
Yep.
So really what it is just and then you got 140 plus new members that are here, right? So the thing is they join the chamber with an expectation that they're in a great place. So what do we need to do over the next couple of years to make it better? Some of the new programs you have, like Wilson Wednesday, the Member Connect on Wednesdays with Lee Campbell's holding, just more programs for them. We want to give people more options and to help grow the chamber. And the people who signed up want to make sure that we're giving them everything they expected while we're maintaining that relationship with our current customers that we have. So it's going to be a good, fun ride for the next 5 years or so. But it all starts with, being involved in your local community and growing it, because we have to have a stake in the game, and we don't want to be the city or the county next to Nashville. We want Nashville to be the city and county next to us. So,
and one of the things, Mark, is if this is not the good word, but harped on this as much as anybody. Spend those dollars locally, shop locally. You're helping yourself when you do.
That's right. And if you're out July 29, 30, and 31, I believe there's a tax-free break and something, so even more of a reason to stop in and support our local businesses.
Well, we got a minute. Anything to wrap it up?
No, Bob McDonald threw me off when he said he loved the high heat and the high humidity. I wasn't expecting that. That's a first, but love you, Bob. But oh boy, transplanted from the north, I got here as quick as I could, and I'll never get used to 70% humidity. But
Gerard, hard weather bother you?
Coming from the humid parts of Baltimore, it bothers me. Yes, you never get used to it, but I'll take it over the 5 degrees any day.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you both with us today. Gerard Bullock and Mark Hinsley, representing the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Coleman.
Thank you.
Great to have you, Gerard.
Thanks.
And Mark, we'll see you next month. But you made it twice.
If not sooner.
All right.
Thank you.
That is part one of Coleman and Company. Hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's now 7:29. This update brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford. And they've got that regular oil change, $34.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73. West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Steady flow of traffic continues on 24 up through the Hickory Hollow area. Westbound 24, you got all that traffic coming in from Rutherford County right now. Still looks good down through Kingston Springs on 40 East. Behind it, you got that traffic in from Dixon County. 40 West at Vestler's, that wreck is over to the side. Hey, there's a high demand for dental assistants, and Dental Staff School has an amazing 98% placement rate at Google Dental Staff School. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
I'm Glenn Denton and your primary candidate for 20th District Commissioner. I'm the only real conservative on the ballot and the only one listed for this seat. But I have 2 write-ins opposing me, so I need each one of your votes. No more huge property tax hikes or piling up a big debt. We have gone over 25 years without proper representation, and I have served 33 years in this district spiritually, truthfully, and boldly. It's time for a wise choice, a clear voice for clean government. Elect Glenn Denton, 20th District Commissioner.
When you needed portable heating, cooling, generators and remediation equipment, contractor tools, or any other equipment or solution to help you get the job done, you trusted Absolute Rental and Supply. Now that same team brings you more equipment and more solutions as Herc Rentals. From construction and industrial to HVAC and homeowner, Herc Rentals has the gear and expertise to get jobs done efficiently, effectively, and safely. Visit us today at 1325 Main Street in Lebanon or online at hercrentals.com. That's HERC Rentals.com.
After the comfortably hot day Tuesday, conditions will get uncomfortably hot here quickly. Starting today, we are back into the middle 90s with our feels-like temperature between 105 and 110. It will be dry and sunny until late, which is one positive, but that also means you have to stay hydrated and find shade periodically if you must be outside. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Eric Streva.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. Well, we've got our friend Philip here this morning to talk about Herc Rentals. Philip Bradley, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
Well, you don't have that Absolute shirt on anymore. It says Herc Rentals, but you're still there and a part of what's going on for the time being, anyway.
I do. I got a few more weeks to stay and kind of do some consulting deal, but it's really been a good transition overall. You know, it's a different world, corporate from versus just a mom and pop type deal like ours. It's a different world, but everything's good. You know, the big thing I see that I think is just a huge benefit is the availability of more equipment. They have such a wider range of equipment than what Absolute Rental was able to provide. And people can call in, they can ask about things, larger lifts, larger excavators, stuff like that. And in their computer system, you can just go right and you can find what store it's located in, and they'll transfer it right in and be able to take care of that customer. So that's a huge
feature that you just didn't have, being a one location operation.
It really is. Like I say, they've just got such a wide breadth of equipment. They have like 380 stores across the nation. The other thing that I'm really amazed about is the safety aspects. They are just it's a major deal. Everything. I mean, for you to walk out in the lot, you have to have a safety vest on. You have to have steel-toe boots on. It's just a primary focus, and I really like that because the employees, the customers, so forth, you want to make sure everybody's safe. Mm-hmm. One thing when I first saw it, I kind of laughed, but they've got a machine like a little mini crane type deal that, if you're picking up a trial machine or a plate compactor or something, or even a pressure washer, maybe something weighs 100, 200 pounds. They've got a little machine that goes over and it's got like a hook and it picks it up, sets it in the back of the truck. It's almost like that little machine you see at the truck stops. You go by and pick up the little teddy bear and drop it off. It's similar to that. At first you kind of laugh about it. You think, that's kind of stupid. But then you think, no, wait a minute. How many times have I pulled my back reaching over grabbing that? Yeah. And so they're very, very safety oriented on everything for not only the employees but for the customers as well. Yeah. And so I think that's a huge benefit.
One thing that hasn't changed is that phone number, 615-443-RENT, and you still go to the website and see all the rental opportunities that are there. Mm-hmm. Call and make your reservation, hopefully a day or two ahead of time.
Exactly. The same. The procedure's the same. Call. They're going to ask you lots of questions. They're going to try to find out what you're using the equipment for, make sure it's the right application. There's so many things that are the same way as Absolute Rental did, but it's, like I say, it's very easy. And like I say, that we have more staff now. Overall, the staff, there's more. So where we were kind of in a bind all the time trying to keep up with things, they're a little more proactive. They're still seeking employees now. They're all the time taking applications. So, but anyway, like I said,
still going to be a good place to work.
Still a really good place to work, and their benefits. I may have told you this when they were in there telling the team about all the benefits of HERC and all that kind of stuff. I was kind of manning the counter while they were doing that, and I was turning around and said, maybe I'll just go to work for HERC. You get all these benefits. And things that I just could not offer as an independent store. They have health care, dental, vision, all those types of things. So it's a really good environment.
So you would even encourage somebody, if you're looking for some work, good place to work.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Well, it is really good to see you today. You look, you might be smiling just a little wider than you have in the past. I don't know.
The stress level is definitely reduced on my behalf. But anyway, like I said, I've really enjoyed the transition. It's been a good, and what I can say from HERC about HERC. They do what they say they're going to do. They did everything when we talked about the transition. They did everything, and they do that with their customers as well. They want to make it right. If there's an issue, you can talk to them, and they'll do everything they can to make it right as well.
Well, Philip, thanks so much for coming out to talk about HERC Rental today. And remember that phone number, it's 615-443-RENT. One of the things that hasn't changed, and I think just about all the change here has been for good. I mean, you've got a few more employees, you've got more rental opportunities. Safety is maybe enhanced a little bit more than you could do, as you
most definitely
expressed very well. And you're still there for a while.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us this morning.
All right. Thank you.
Philip Etherly, HERC Rental, 615-443-RENT. We're 22 before the hour. Sarah Hasting is my guest, and good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You're substituting for Mayor Bell today.
I am. Lucky me.
I don't see him around. So.
No, he's out.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things that's happened since he was here and since you were here, and I think it may have just been Monday that that the car started circling around What a Burger on South Cumberland. And every time I've gone by there, that whole lot is full with people waiting to get a burger.
I know. Isn't that amazing? It opened Monday at 11, and I heard the first car got in line Sunday morning, or I guess it would be Monday morning at 3:30 in the morning.
Well, now I can understand. Well, I'll be too negative here. I can understand wanting to be first more than I can understand being 50th or 60th in a line waiting to get one. I'm going to get one, but it's going to be a day or two.
Yeah, if you drive by right now, I'm sure there's probably already a line. It's funny how crazy it is, but it's awesome. We're happy about it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's the first one in Wilson County, right?
It is.
Mount Juliet's going to get one, but not yet.
Yeah, that's correct. And Lebanon's actually going to get their second one soon as well. So that's already committed, submitted, and approved. And that'll be on Highway 109 right in front of the new Publix.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a Zaxby's going out there as well.
Yeah.
And some other fun things that we can't talk about just yet, but I will be sure to let you know as soon as I can.
Any of your friends ever try to pick your brain, find out what's happening? And
Absolutely.
You won't ever say a word.
That's right. I'm the keeper of secrets. I need these people to like me and want to come back and do more business here, so they have to trust me. But Applebee's was the worst one because I couldn't walk my dog without someone saying, "What's going in Applebee's? What's going in Applebee's?"
Yeah.
So.
Well, no doubt you're staying busy.
Very busy. Yep. Yes, sir.
What's a day like with you? And I know you got some things you want to talk about. We did have a city council meeting, didn't we?
Yes, absolutely. We did last night.
We'll get to that in a minute. But to answer, what is your day like each day? Is any of them exactly the same?
No, my days are always different. That's one of the best parts of my job. So I receive a lot of phone calls and I receive a lot of emails, but I do a lot of research and do a lot of outbound calls, you know. Being in my role, you got to be able to have a conversation with all walks of life, and being able to pick up that phone and call someone that you don't know or you never met and just dig around and talk to people and build relationships. Mm-hmm. You know, even if it's not with the name brand itself, you've got to build relationships within the company that you're trying to recruit here. And the broker side of it. You got to have these conversations about Lebanon, selling the community, talking about the ins and outs, a lot of data-driven conversations, but every day is different.
Well, what in particular do you want to talk about this morning? You want to talk about city council right now? Is important meeting? Any city council meeting is an important meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
If any action is transacted.
Sure, absolutely. So last night was kind of a fun meeting. The house was packed. There was a lot of youth there. It was the second reading on the approval of the new sports complex, which is phase 1, which is soccer fields. And there was a lot of soccer people there, and they cheered when they got the vote their way. So that was exciting to see a bunch of little ones in their uniforms. Mm-hmm, absolutely, it was unanimous. It was on the consent agenda, so. But that was very exciting for everyone. That's been a long time in the works, so.
When now that it's been approved, what's our timetable here? When will dirt be turned?
That's a great question. I'm not exactly sure. I know that they've approved the construction bids, you know, so they have that all worked out and the financing all worked out. So I assume it would be lining up the contractors now for that part. So, but that's out of my world. So I don't want to speak out of turn, but hopefully it is soon.
Yeah.
That's a question for Jeff. Next time Jeff Baines is on here, that's the first question you need to ask him.
Anything else from last night's meeting?
The new fee structure was approved for the sewer upgrades. So going to bid on those, that's important. They approved that last night.
Okay.
But everything else was usual business.
Well, what else is there to talk about?
I'd like to talk about all the new things coming to Lebanon. So we hear a lot in my world. We want new places to eat, new restaurants. And one of the things I want to talk about is the new breweries that are coming. That's such a trend right now with craft beer. So we actually have 3 coming to Lebanon. One is on the downtown square, which is Cedar City Brewery, which is the local boys who own, or gentlemen. I don't know why I said boys. I'd be upset if someone said girl. But the local people who own Town Square Social. And then we have another local group that's opening one at the mill, which is called 10 Lakes Brewery. And then we have one that's coming in from Nashville, which is East Nashville Brew Works, which is going at 109 and Callis Road where Wilson Farms is. And that one is, Maribel and I went and toured their facility, and this new one that they're opening will triple their production and will be double the footprint size. And they've got a lot of outdoor seating. It's pet friendly. It's a really cool atmosphere, and they serve food as well. So that's going to be something great for all the new residents in Wilson Farms.
These other two going to be places that you walk in and order a drink and maybe food?
Yeah, you'll get to walk in and do some tastings and check it out. It's kind of fun. I don't really drink beer. I don't know. My husband does, but we went on a craft beer tour in Nashville, and we had a blast doing it. And the research says you need to have at least 3 to bring in kind of the tourist approach to it. But I think it's going to really work downtown, especially with the new Cedar Tap. Have you been there yet, Coleman? No. It's kind of a fun place too, where each week it's different taps, so you get to try something different all the time. And they don't make the beer on site there, but they have one in Ashland City.
What is this seems to have really caught on, but what's behind this? What's pushing it? Is it just the fact that it's something different? Maybe
it's consumer driven, so everything goes through trends, right? Highs and lows. And this is something that is a local flavor, people making it their own. And it's really popular in Nashville now. There's so many of them. Mm-hmm. And all of that growth just expands. And one of the coolest things about Lebanon is you have these local people who have an idea and say, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to bring this into my community. And that's what keeps Lebanon so different from other places. So we really, really value those entrepreneurs. But the consumer wanting to try different things and not having to go outside of the community all the time. I mean, of course you want to go out and explore, but you want to be able to explore in your hometown too.
All right, Sarah Hasting, Economic Development Director for the City of Lebanon. Did I get that right?
You did. I'm so proud of you.
Is with us this morning, pinch hitting, I guess we could say, for Mayor Rick Bell. But Sarah's got a lot more information for us. We'll find out what's on her mind more after we go to this break here on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, Red Max, complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, T-Dot was up against the wall a few minutes ago. Hopefully they'll get out of there soon. 65 southbound at Dickerson Pike on a stalled vehicle. 4400 block on Lebanon Pike. That wreck is in its clearing stages over in Hermitage. Watching traffic build pretty good out of Wilson County on I-40 westbound coming past 840. Hey, there's a high demand for dental assistants, and Dental Staff School has an amazing 98% placement rate. Google Dental Staff School. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Charles Lehman is asking for your vote for Wilson County Trustee August 4th. Charles grew up in Noreen and has been a lifelong resident of Wilson County. Charles Lehman brings a strong education tempered with decades of experience to provide the citizens of Wilson County with a rock-solid background for their next trustee. Working as an appraiser for the comptroller of the Treasury for 34 years and going into real estate after retirement, Charles brings a strong foundation to serve as your next trustee. Paid for by committee to elect Charles Lehman Treasurer.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coleman & Company, it's a Wednesday. Sarah Hasting is with us. You got an S on the end of your name.
It's actually Haston, Haston.
Oh, I knew that, but I'd forgotten. Okay, Hasting.
That's okay.
All right. we know you because you come out. You always you do have the gift for gab. You can talk, and that's nice when you're in a position like me. Ask a question and. then you have time to think of the next one with you anyway.
That's good. I'll take that as a compliment.
That is a compliment. That is a compliment. Well, you've seen a lot of growth and some change in whatever here in the time that you've had the position you have.
Absolutely. So I've been in it now 6.5 years. So that's exciting. Prior to that, it was vacant for almost 8. So it's a little wild, but I want to talk about Kmart too. Can we talk about that? Yeah. So Kmart went out of business in 2019, the December of 2019, just before COVID hit, really. And we've approved and their plans for their remodel, and we announced the stores that were coming in. So I just want to talk about that. It's Marshall's and Ross and Ulta and Five Below and Buff City Soaps. So that renovation is happening now. If you drive by, you can see the construction. So
well,
that's
I happened
exciting.
to go by there yesterday and was actually in the parking lot down there because I had to do something to do with one of the businesses up there that's not being renovated, but you've got a fence up.
Yeah,
there's a big fence up.
Big fence.
Yeah, and I believe has that service station there. It's going away.
Yep, the service station is gone, and they have submitted a new site plan. It'll be about 8,000 square feet of retail that will go exactly where the service station was. But we don't have a commitment yet.
Well, now, is that part of the other, or is that two separate things?
It's the same owner.
Okay.
Same owner, same developer, same construction crew. We just aren't ready to announce the tenant lineup yet.
Okay.
On the owner side, they're still securing the leases. So they've submitted to us the drawings and what that footprint will look like, and it's up for approval. But we aren't in a position to announce anything because they're still working on securing the leases. But we're trying to stay in front of that. We've been working with them for a long time because we know there are certain retailers that would work better here in our community, and we know there's certain things that the people want, which is most likely places to go eat.
Does anybody eat at home anymore?
I know, right? If they're like me, they don't cook. I haven't cooked a meal in I don't know how long, but my husband is a great cook, so thank you, Scott.
Well, I'm not a great cook, and when my wife doesn't cook, nothing gets cooked.
It's different.
But, when there's just two of us, and it's been that way for quite some time, really, so many times, well, thankfully, we do have the senior citizen centers that have wonderful bargains, and,
Yes.
and sometimes we'll eat their lunch, one of them for lunch and the other one for supper, and that works pretty good.
Well, we're just always on the go. We're so busy.
People do, and people want a variety.
Yes.
And that's where you probably hear so much. Well, why can't we have this? Why can't we have that one? And then there may be one just 20 miles away, but they want it right here in our backyard.
Right, and that is changing. We really are seeing it, and it might seem slow to some people who aren't in it every day, but you have to have a certain type of area to have the right retail and restaurant. You need to have a certain amount of rooftops, a certain income level, a certain amount of traffic flow. There's all these different parameters that these companies look at when they're deciding where to put their new business. And we're getting those neighborhoods now. Hartman Drive, every day we're having conversations about Hartman Drive. We had a new residential development come through. That's a Del Webb property, and it's got so many homes in it that there's a commercial component where everyone's like, well, I want to be there, I want to be there. And then across the street, they want to be there, so kind of where those new hotels are and where Chili's is, that area is all being really looked at. Site plans are being submitted. So we're really hoping we can make announcements soon about that.
Well, you probably are able to influence somebody if you have your selling points in order, so to speak.
Sure.
You probably have a great influence on where they locate.
Yes, and the challenge
within our city.
Sure. Yeah. The challenge is getting to the right person and having those conversations at the right time. It's always really disheartening when you're just a little too late and that property just sold. It's really hard sometimes, but sometimes it's as simple as just introducing two people too. You know, one person who wants the property and one person who's ready to get rid of it, and not on like a realtor hat type, but just introducing people to let the magic happen. And right now in Lebanon, there's so much opportunity. You know, the outlet mall is a huge opportunity with all that I-40 visibility. And when we went in for the rezone, it got so much coverage. It was even in the Nashville Business Journal. And, you know, people want that property. People are looking at it. And we're trying to create the right synergy to have a strong retail power center here in Lebanon.
Well, I guess I interrupted you and we were talking about where Kmart used to be, but now that has been, the part that's under construction is fenced off, all of it. I think no one can get in there unless they're supposed to.
Right.
No, that is, there's no traffic and all this. It's a work area now.
Yes.
And there's quite a bit of renovation that's going to take place here. Right?
There really is.
It's just going to look quite different.
It's going to look completely different. And the renderings of it, like images that they submit, they look great. You know, it's really cool. And then we have about 20,000 square feet left on the Goody side that is almost completely done. You know, just in the final stages of getting that lease signed, and that'll be great. It's another retail, so right next to AutoZone. And then you'll have the 8,000 square feet in front where the gas station was. And then right next to that, where the Dollar General Market is, they just put up their sign for Pop Shelf. And I'm excited about that because I love Pop Shelf. It's kind of a higher brand for Dollar General and has some home decor and some fun party stuff. So I think that'll be exciting for everyone. So if you drive by right now, you can see the sign up for that. So that's cool. And there's another store like that on Highway 70 in Hermitage. That's one store, but is double branded with Dollar General Market and Pop Shelf. So that's cool.
Well, I have an idea that the other existing businesses down there on either side of this, but especially, Tractor Supply and the others that are down there would appreciate having some businesses here because that's going to be more possible customers for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, they love that traffic. And it's going to be great. I'm really excited about that. That one's been a long time coming. And then this morning, they're having the grand reopening for Kroger with our expansion we went through. That's this morning at 9, and that's exciting. That's actually, you know, for a lesson in patience, that was my first big project I took on when I got this position. So that actually started in May of 2016.
Really?
Yes, and it was they wanted to go in and buy the property and then figure out their expansion, and the delay on it, because it didn't actually start till last year, the delay on it was they had asked for government support. They wanted a tax freeze and wanted to go into one of our tax incentive programs, and we did not approve it. So what that did is it got it approved on the corporate side to be a store that will go through a remodel, but the timeline was pushed back. The way they determine it is the communities that will incentivize them or give them money are done first. So it still got done, it just took longer.
Well, how much expansion have they doubled?
Oh, it is huge. It's amazing. When you go in there, it's almost comparable to Walmart now. It's crazy. They have another door and all different products now. It's a lot more options. And they even have a Starbucks inside.
So that's at 9 o'clock today?
9 o'clock this morning, yep. They're calling it their grand reopening.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if it's that it's all complete then, how long has... I know there was a lot of shuffling and moving around, and you didn't find the same place, same thing today that was where it was last week for a while.
Yeah.
According to my wife, anyway.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah.
It's in the parking lot alone was a big task. You know, we needed that parking lot redone. Mm-hmm. And fairly close, you know, one of the things that we get a lot of talk about too is the Goodwill. The Goodwill in Lebanon had gone out a few years ago. and they're opening a new store. They're building it. Do you know where the old sale barn was? Over there.
That's what everybody called it, Lebanon Livestock.
I didn't know what that was. I had to get clarification, but once I did, now I know that if you just say the old sale barn, everyone knows where you're talking about.
It was there for so long. What's going there?
Goodwill.
Okay, all right.
Goodwill.
So,
and
how big
it's a little larger of a development, so there'll be opportunities for more retail over there as well.
Well, we are growing.
We are.
And hey, Mark Hinesley mentioned the sales tax collections. Did you see that yesterday?
Yes.
And we're still ahead of Mount Juliet.
Yeah. We're one team, right? No, I feel like it's kind of what we're graded on, you know. So if you wanted a sports analogy, you would never want to give points to the other team. So, but at the same time, we're one, Wilson County as a whole. So
well, we want people to shop local where
local,
it is.
Yes, it's so important.
We all benefit. We're all in the county.
Yes,
and the county benefits from any money that's spent here.
And that is how we fund all of our budgets. So that's why it's so important. And if you want certain things, you've got to show that you spend your money here. If you want more development in the right commercial development, so it's important.
Well, it is good to see you this morning, and it looks like you are staying busy, and the results show here, and we'll be hearing more, no doubt. What you do today, we'll probably hear about a year or two from now.
Yes, I just want to say one quick thing. Right. My oldest daughter, she's going to turn 15 on Monday, the one who made me a mom, so I wanted to say happy birthday to Charlie May.
All right, great. Sarah Hasting, the Economic Development Director for the City of Lebanon, has been my guest, pinch hitting for Mayor Rick Bell. Sarah, so good to see you. Thanks for all the good information.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for a Wednesday, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Coleman & Company. And until tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful day.